Welcome to the fifth edition. Edition? Is that even right? Episode?
Episode.
Yeah, we'll go for episode. The fifth episode of the Something About Basketball podcast. My name's Paul.
What up? I'm Dylan.
Dylan would have sufficed, but yeah, thanks for that. This is the fifth episode we're doing. We're going to be talking about the Southwest Division today. Where do you want to start?
Well, just because it is the Southwest Division, be warned, this will be by far the driest of the divisions because deserts. So let's start with the presumed winner and whatever. I don't know why or how the Spurs got top billing here, but they're probably gonna be best team.
I don't really think there's any probably about it. I think they're going to be the best team.
They've been pretty good for a while. Got a pretty good coach. Pretty good players. Tim Duncan retired. Tony Parker. Ginobili.
He's back on as a coach,
retire.
isn't he?
Duncan?
Timmy? I think he's back as a
I
coach.
think he's got some role with the team.
He's
but
probably
I think it's
just like-
undisclosed,
Well, it probably says on his contract, be Tim Duncan.
essentially.
Just like sit on the bus.
I think he's actually their accountant for each individual player. Files their taxes.
Yeah. Come on. Well, how many games do you think they're going to win, the Spurs?
60 wouldn't shock me. Probably more realistically, closer to 50, 55. I think Tony Parker is going to get a lot of rest. I think Ginobili will get a lot of rest.
I worry about, only part about this team that I don't really like is
Gasol.
I don't like Gasol on this team, and I'm one of Pau Gasol's biggest, literally one of his biggest fans. He knows me quite well, but I think he's at that point where he's a defensive liability.
Yeah, but look at their offense and Powell.
Yeah.
Aldridge probably put up all-star numbers if I had to guess. The spacing's going to be a little weird with him and Gasol out there. I know they both have pretty decent mid-range games, but it's just going to be...
Well, LaMarcus is... I think there was some preseason noise that he's actually going to start shooting threes, which he's more than capable of doing. But
sure.
It's going to... People have made the argument, Tim Duncan wasn't by the end of his run there, he wasn't the most mobile guy anymore. But Tim Duncan was still an elite defender. He could still defend the rim. He could still, he was still a presence, communicating things and all that kind of stuff. But and the people say, oh well, they were just as good with him off the floor as what they were with him on the floor. But taking him out is going to put more pressure on other guys over the course of a full game and over the course of a full season. But I think that's kind of immaterial. I think these guys are just pre-programmed to win 55 games and just be dumber teams.
Pretty much. There's a bit of buzz about Kawhi potentially vying for MVP. What's your take on that?
I think he's more than capable of being an MVP, especially this season when there's no... if you look at it on the face of it, I don't think Westbrook or Harden are going to win enough games. I don't think anyone from the Warriors is going to get it. It could come down to where it's... everyone else has got... Anthony Davis probably not going to win enough... Well, actually, is not going to win enough games. Cat's still too young. There's no... I can't really see... especially in the Western Conference, I can't really see one player who's going to have that magic combination of individual success and team success. So, yeah, Kawhi could definitely make her own MVP. I think it's LeBron. I think it's going to be another LeBron. The writing's on the wall for LeBron to make another. And I don't even really necessarily think LeBron in the regular season is going to be any better or any worse than he has been in the last couple of seasons. It's just
hard to be much better.
It's just going to be like if the Cavs win 60 games and LeBron puts up his standard 27, 7 and 7, then I think the voters will. You'll probably get a little bit of payback for being just otherworldly in that finals. It's kind of up the stock again.
So you heard it here first. Steph Curry does not repeat the MVP award, even though he has his ridiculous 40-point per game average and I don't know 10 threes a game.
If hypothetically, yeah, if Steph Curry, the only way that someone from the Warriors could win it is if one of the other players goes down. So like a hypothetical, if Durant has an injury that rules him out of 40 games and the Warriors still blitz everyone for and wins 75% of their games during that time, and Steph is throwing up silly numbers, then maybe you could foresee it, but that would be the only way I could. But anyway, sorry, we're getting way off the point.
All right, so
Kawhi, do you think he could be MVP?
For sure. Who in the still ongoing preseason, who are your 5 potential contenders for MVP? Discounting all the Warriors, so they're off the board.
It's just a difficult one this year. The only guys that are really going to win enough games that you can say are LeBron, Kawhi,
what about Paul George?
We already talked about
the Pacers. They go 55, get 55, end up with a 3 or 4 seed.
That's a big if. We talked about the Pacers the other day. I'm not high on them at all.
Any chance you'd have Lowry in there if the Raptors do what they did again last year? Was it 59, 60?
I just don't think. I don't think the voters see him in that class of player. I don't think he is in that class of player. He's a great player.
Yeah.
He's a great player. I don't think he's in that class. I don't think he would ever have the numbers to justify it. So so who else you got then? Like you got Damian. Portland aren't going to win enough games. Maybe a Clipper could be a dark horse, depending if the Clippers
cannibalize each other again. No, it's kind of.
No, I think if they always it's always a kind of thing where they take votes off each other, Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. So there you go. We've pretty much exhausted the who's who of the top 10 or 15 players in the league. So if Kawhi's ever going to win it, this is the year to really make a run. If he put up something and maintain that level of defense and up his points per game into that 24-25 range, and had that, he was a ridiculously efficient shooter last year. I think he was shooting something like, he was shooting close to 50% from 3 at one point. It was something silly percentage. If he could do that, if he can maintain his defensive intensity and score that many points, the only guys in that team that are really going to be taking shots off him are Aldridge and Gasol.
Yeah.
But he could definitely make a run at it. But yeah, no, the Spurs are going to be good. They're always good.
Another year, Spurs still with 3 future Hall of Famers. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Mavs.
Yeah.
I don't really like this team very much. Wes Matthews, he's good. Dirk is all-time great. He's fantastic. He'll still put up big numbers just because he's German.
Yeah, he's just ultra efficient.
Yeah, it's just what they do,
I like the starting 5. I hate everything else. I think the starting 5 is going to be very competitive most nights. It's a nice, it's a nice balance of players. Darren Williams he's nowhere near what he was.
So
but
who do you like? Darren Williams, Chris Paul? Who's the best point guard in the NBA right now?
It's funny actually. Not too long ago, I really looked into the advanced numbers. No, we didn't really have advanced numbers till relatively recently, and you go into the advanced numbers, and it never should have been. Even looking back, Chris Paul was still clearly should have been seen as the better player, but the numbers were.
What was a decade ago when Darren Williams took the Jazz to the Western Conference Finals?
I suppose it was the team success that was kind of playing into a lot of that. But I think I might be admitting something here, but I thought Darren Williams was a better player.
He was
way back when.
He was awesome.
He was very good.
I was pulling for the Jazz hard because I was actually that summer. I was in Russia, and I knew that if the Jazz were going to keep...
You were felt some sort of kinship with people in desolate places?
Well, because they had AK-47, and I knew that I'd be able to get some of the games on TV if...
I suppose I know.
If they were there. So I was pulling for them.
No, yeah, I like the Bogus, an elite rim protector, great passer. Should be able to, you know, get some chemistry going with Williams and with like I mean, Wes Matthews is a good shooter. Dirk all time good shooter. He's even Dirk Nowitzki could be 67, and you'd still have to honor his jumper. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
It's just like he's always going to demand attention. Carlisle is he's a great coach. If anyone's going to get more out of a set of players than what maybe they should, it would be him. But I'd say like the depth atrocious. It's
yeah.
like
What do you mean? They got Seth Curry. Maybe he steps up.
Seth Curry's okay.
At best.
Yeah, but like I just no, I don't really have that much interest. Like I don't really have that much to say about the Mavs. It's just I think they're going to be competitive. The Carlisle teams are always competitive. They'll be in the chase for the 8th seed. They'll be better than what most people think. They're not, I mean, ever since the championship, almost every year they've exceeded what people's expectations for them. They just strike out in free agency, get like a bunch of crap no one wants, and then somehow they still turn it into like a competitive team.
That's true. I mean, yeah, to me it looks a lot like the same team from last year. I think Chandler Parsons, Harrison Barnes are pretty comparable.
I think Parsons is a much better player.
Yeah,
when he's healthy, I think he's a better player.
I went to UF.
That's a good reason to discount him. Harrison Barnes, I feel bad for him, but like, so I haven't really watched any Mavs preseason games, but I did us the courtesy of looking up his stats, and they're abysmal through like 5 games. He's averaging like 5.6 points, 21% from the field, and 0.83% from 3.
Hey man, it's that Team USA experience rubbing right off on him.
Yeah, if anyone was going to challenge that whole, absorbing greatness through, I don't know, osmosis or something, it's definitely Harry Barnes. But he's a good defender. He's a good defender. He can hit a 3.
Yes,
and no one can ever, you can't really get on the guy for getting as much money as he could. I mean, it was a once in a lifetime.
He's the Black Falcon, man.
Deal, yeah.
That's all you need to know. Yeah,
well,
let's move on.
Yeah, whatever. What do you think? Do you think they're gonna make the playoffs?
Tough to say. I'll probably finish around 44, 45 wins.
I've got a little bit of a. I know my top 5 seeds more or less, but I've got a few dilemmas about the final 3.
The West is going to be tough to call. It's a couple of great teams, 2, maybe 3 great teams, and the Spurs, Clippers, and Warriors.
I guess there's kind of
everything
like 3.
Else is kind of.
The Warriors, the Spurs, and the Clippers are kind of here, and then like with the Jazz.
Well, then it's 4 through 13, and it's all like Trailblazers or Jazz. They're both going to be good teams. Who's going to be better? Hard to say.
But anyway, Rockets, what do you think? I've got a lot of texts on the Rockets.
I love the D'Antoni hiring for them. I think if nothing else, they have not been very fun to watch.
It'll be fun to watch, definitely.
They were actually awful to watch, just between the fouls.
There was that. I mean, the lack of count. I would go as far as to say just sheer blind hatred between Harden and
Howard.
Do you remember the time whenever it was the end of the playoff game, whenever like the Rockets players were visibly disappointed when James Harden hit that walk-off shot, because they were like, oh, I'm gonna have to spend more time with these guys. Like, I mean, that basically just sums up the Dwight Howard and Houston experience.
More or less. Yeah, they're gonna be interesting. D'Antoni will have Harden running the point. That's gonna be something. I mean, James Harden, he's pretty good.
I guess he's unbelievable.
Pretty good.
Westbrook or Harden?
Westbrook.
I'd take Harden. Not an easy choice, but I think I'd take Harden. I think Harden is better in almost every part of offense. He's better. He's a better shooter. Westbrook, is a great player, but he's too unpredictable. I think James Harden, he's a more dependable quantity. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. My well, you can probably see from my notes, my biggest concern, even outside of the defensive issues with this team, is I don't think there's a prayer for our non-Northern Irish listeners that they're going to be healthy. Ryan Anderson has missed 97 games combined over the last 3 seasons. Eric Gordon 76.
Well, Ryan Anderson played for the Pelicans, and everybody knows when you play for the Pelicans, you play 20 games and then you're out the other 62. So, like, I mean, I liked Ryan Anderson. He was awesome way back with Magic, and he is what he is. He gets bored. He's Kevin Love light. Gets boards, hits threes.
I think if they're fully healthy, they're going to be an offensive juggernaut. Like, they should score at an absolutely ridiculous pace, and James Harden is the perfect D'Antoni player, you know. But my concerns about them are health and defense. If we're just projecting the regular season, if we could turn around and officially say right now, okay, every player's going to play at least 70 games, then my outlook on them would be completely different. But I just don't think there's a chance. I think both of those guys is probably going to go down for 20 games apiece, and they're going to lose a lot because if Eric Gordon goes down, suddenly you're playing Pablo Prigioni heavy minutes. You know, he's more or less your first guard off after, you know, Beverly and Harden. It's just and that's just not something that any team with aspirations to win a lot of games should be dependent on.
Well, especially not if you're going up tempo as well.
Yeah.
But, I don't think, assuming Eric Gordon does go down, which you remember him back with the Clippers when
he was brilliant, man. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just gonna be interesting.
I don't want it to happen again. It's one of those things where people could accuse you of people could, thank God you did knock the camera down that time. People could accuse you of being negative, but it's just
history.
You can't look at that injury history and that. Well, I mean, like I was talking to my mate, and he was like, I don't really know what way to project these teams out, and he was like, just assume that everyone's going to be healthy when you're trying to project how many wins that you're going to. But I think that the history is so glaring with these two players that it's difficult to really, make that assumption that they're going to be healthy, unless maybe the Rockets have like a phenomenal training staff and they're going to, maybe get them healthier than they have been. I don't know, but like.
Yeah, because I mean Anderson, Gordon, and then you have Nene as well, and it's not like Nene is exactly a beacon of health.
No, I think Capella. Capella's a good player.
I think he is a good player. I think he's put up ridiculous stats for the minutes he's gotten. Like he's incredibly solid. It's weird because he's from Switzerland.
I'm not 100% where he's from actually. I'd never heard of him until he started playing for the Rockets. I didn't know who he was, but I think KJ McDaniel still has a lot of potential in him.
Well, he's still only 22, 23?
Something like that. Like, remember whenever he was coming up with the Sixers and they weren't going to pay him, and he kind of bet on himself and he got a decent contract out of it, but he showed a lot of kind of potential, but he's just been buried there.
Because he was just a second round pick, right? And then he had his 1 year deal, and then
they offered him,
made him a 4-year low ball.
They basically offered him like a packet of Polo Mints and a can of Coke.
He did not trust the process.
Hey.
Yeah, and he'll probably be on a winning team. I like him. I think Ariza's a bit washed up, and it's not like anybody else can be playing defense. So
Zach Harper did a great breakdown of the Rockets' defensive problems last year, particularly in transition, and he actually pointed out that it wasn't who you think was going to be necessarily the major problem, Harden. It was actually Trevor Ariza, and a lot of it was just sheer lack of effort. Now again, you can say that kind of shit flows down. Maybe it was just they saw that maybe Harden didn't come into camp in great shape. He'd been doing Line to Blow with Khloe Kardashian for the whole summer, and hadn't really been getting into shape, wasn't putting in the effort, and maybe that just kind of, it was like a knock-on effect, like a negative work habits. I don't know. I'm just speculating on this, but like you could visibly see that Harden and Hard and Ariza were kind of just not
not on the same
not
page.
really on the same page and weren't really trying.
Who replaced Mikhail? Who was the Rockets coach last year?
JB Bickerstaff. Yeah. But he was in a tough spot as well. I mean, McHale got fired after 7 games or something silly
like that.
Which
is
that's a Sacramento move if ever I've seen one.
Poor Dwight Howard. Finally a chance to play with one of the all-time greats down in the post, and
I always hate that. That for a couple of summers there was always that token
goes to Hakeem.
Yeah, no, there's always that token
it's
video
Hakeem,
of like as if like me and you could go to like, I don't know, we could go work out with Chris Paul for 2 days and then come back and we're just like pinging passes all over the place and like
my skyhook.
Yeah.
Working with Kareem.
No, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Like it's the Rockets. If they're completely healthy, could win. They through just offense alone could win anywhere between 48 to 51 games if they're completely healthy. If they're not, it could be 35 games.
Yeah.
Again, they're like there's a big gap between what.
Well, I mean, what if Harden goes out? Then I think that ceiling goes from 35 down to 20.
Well, like you could say that about any other top 5 player that isn't playing with I don't know, like if Anthony Davis went down for the Pelicans, it'd be like.
But Cavs, LeBron goes down, misses 60 games. They still win 50, right?
No.
You don't think so?
No, not even close.
Kyrie, Love.
I think if LeBron went down for an extended period of time, that team would fall to pieces. That would go like that. That's a 40-win team. If LeBron goes down, 110%.
No way.
Like look at Kyrie's success pre-LeBron. Do you remember the success he had?
Do you remember the team he had?
So what? I'm just saying, like.
Do you remember who they're starting? They had Anthony Bennett starting.
It depends.
They had Anthony Bennett starting.
But they depend so much on LeBron's playmaking, on everything. Like he literally runs. You don't think LeBron's worth 15 games a year? How many games is LeBron worth?
I just think the team they have is super solid.
But he's the linchpin. He's the thing that holds the whole thing together.
I think if he went down for a long time, they'd still be all right.
I don't think they would. It's one of those hypotheticals that I hope never happens because I don't want LeBron to go down.
Yeah,
but I think the Cavs would be a 40-win team if LeBron went down for a season.
I feel like
take him out.
The Thunder, the Rockets, probably the Pelicans would be the 3 teams that would suffer the most if somebody went down, if their star went down. Because I feel like the Rockets without Harden, that team is the worst in the league.
They're going. They would be terrible. They would be terrible.
All right. Yeah. Stay healthy, LeBron.
Yeah.
You too, James Harden.
I think my last thing on it. I think I think there would be a similar type team to the one that Kevin Love had in Minnesota, without LeBron. Team that's just like competitive most nights, Like they had a team that like was like borderline playoff contention, about a 40-win team before he left.
Kyrie's a top 15 player.
But I don't. That doesn't like Carmelo's a top 15 player. It doesn't guarantee you shit. It doesn't guarantee you a winning team. There's only a handful of players in the league that can guarantee you.
Kevin Love's best player back in those T-Wolves days was Kevin Martin.
No, they had a pretty solid roster.
Pekovic,
Rubio,
Rubio.
They had one of the best. The starting 5, but one of the best plus minuses in the league. They were one of the best starting 5s in the league. They just had a horrible bench. But anyway.
All right. So the Rockets, they'll do. It depends on injury. You think they score over 116 a game?
again, they're fully healthy. I think that 116.
Yeah.
No, that would put them ahead of what the Warriors did last year, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
No,
They're gonna be. You don't think
they're not a better
just
offensive.
running up D'Antoni?
They're not a bad. Even I mean, the Warriors played a ridiculously up tempo
Fast
pace.
pace, yeah.
I don't think they're a better. They're going to be a really good. They could be comparable to what OKC put up, like 110 points a game or something like that last year. They could probably do that.
They damn sure better. They're
Yeah,
not
because they're
getting
not getting
anywhere
any
close.
stops anyway.
Yeah.
But what about the Grizzlies?
They're gonna be good. That's a 50-win team again. Consistently underrated. Last year, everybody. I mean, they lost everybody for the playoffs. All they really did was add Chandler Parsons, who is a pretty nice little step up.
There was a great, but I think I can't remember. I heard about it on Zach Lowe's podcast. He says he was on a TV show and he was talking about the Grizzlies playoff thing. He was like, I mean, this is one of the worst playoff teams I've ever seen. And he realized that Vince Carter was sitting beside him and he was on the team. He was like he just completely blanked that he was actually on that team. He was like, I mean, like, but you had all these injuries. But it was like that team that got into the playoffs was dreadful. But like not through no fault of their own.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think they're gonna be good. I think a lot's gonna depend on Michael Green if he can actually be good. Maybe he can. It's hard. It's too early to say. Brandon Wright, ridiculously efficient offensive scorer, puts up. He makes buckets. He's not
I think that's like your favorite slogan.
makes buckets.
Makes buckets.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Mike Conley, possibly the most underrated player in the NBA. Just everybody discounts him.
But he's not. That's the reason why he's not the most underrated. Like, the reason why he's not the most underrated player in the league is because everyone says he's the most underrated player in the league. So he's not underrated because everyone constantly talks about how good he is.
Yeah.
It's a crime that he's never made an All-Star game. I'll give you that. But the West, that's the breaks. It's not. I mean, the West has been that good that really deserving players miss it every year.
Yeah.
You know, if Mike Conley played in the East, he'd probably be a 4-time All-Star by this point in his career.
Just depends what team you played with.
Yeah, I mean, assuming that he was on a team that won as much as what the Grizzlies
Oh
has,
my God, yeah.
he'd be a 4-time All-Star.
He'd be an MVP consideration. Like seriously.
I don't know if he'd be MVP.
He wouldn't be MVP, but
yeah.
he'd be talked about. Cause he's I mean, it's like if John Wall is kind of. He'd be getting that same kind of hype because he's been awesome. He's really, really good.
Free Johnny Wall. I want John Wall out of Washington. I don't think it's ever going to work for him over there. But anyway, that's for another.
Yeah, so the Grizz, I think they're going to be good. Is it Fizdale? Is their new coach? Everybody's been raving about him.
He's meant to be good, yeah. I don't really know much about him, to be honest.
Well, he's an assistant coach. Like, everybody says anything's going to be great about him. It's hard to say. But they got Vince Carter, surefire Hall of Famer.
Do you see that picture of Vince Carter's vertical jump?
Still?
Oh, man. You want to see it? He can jump higher than what Andrew Wiggins can. The measure is, he went to the same facility that remember that picture from, like, last season of Andrew Wiggins when he was, like, we were measuring his vertical leap, he'd no shirt on, and it was like everyone was like, Jesus, like Wiggins has got hops, and then they did the same thing with VC. He's 38 years old, and that man is a freak of nature, like absolute another. It had him like I seen a video clip of him windmilling.
Well, he's from Florida.
Of course, that's the reason. Yeah, that's the reason.
It's the same reason I can windmill.
T-Mac's his cousin. He's from Florida as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, don't like. I think Tony Allen is. He's not that's a glaring weakness in the team. Is that I mean VC's just too old. Tony Allen, his defense is not quite at that level it was, and he's still a big offensive liability.
I don't know, man. You see that pic of Vince Carter recently, dunking all over.
But like but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
he's not the player he was. He's a nice.
Well, if he's still athletic, it's he's not. He
gets injured a lot as well.
He's obviously not Raptors or Nets Vince Carter, but he's still a pretty nice little player to have. slowly climbing his way up the all-time stats in a lot of ways too.
I don't know. Part of me likes the team on paper. I think that again there's a chance they could win. They could win 50 games, and
Oh, they will.
I don't think they will.
Okay.
I don't think they will necessarily. Uh, First issue, Marc Gasol, is he going to be completely healthy? Is he going to be the player that we'll come to expect him to be? I don't like big men, especially big men his size, a big boy. I don't like foot problems for guys, getting up there and he's 30, isn't he?
30 something. Yeah, a little younger than you.
Well, I'm not 7 foot, 270 pounds or whatever. Like, I mean, that's a lot of weight coming down on an aging body. That's my first issue. I think Randolph has been falling. He's been falling the last couple of years, and depending on how much he continues to fall, Parsons, you don't know. Again, he's missed kind of 20 games a season the last couple of years. You don't know if he's gonna. If they're healthy, they'll be good. If they're healthy, they'll be good. But I just the two teams that I was talking to my mate about that I was having the most difficulties projecting were the Grizzlies and the Rockets, just simply because I don't know how their health and age, I suppose, with the Grizzlies, and then just health with the Rockets. But no, if they're healthy, they're going to be good. They're always good. They've always just been perennial kind of 45 to 55 win team for like the last 6 years.
Yeah.
7 years even.
I think it's been 50 plus the last 6.
I think they dropped below 50. They did win 50 games last year. But everyone went down in like the last
month of the
season. Like they were.
And even still, they get to 50.
But we'll see. We'll see what way it checks out. But all good things come to an end, and I don't know when the bottom's going to drop out on grit and grind. Like.
Yeah, it's going to be a new era for sure, but I think they're well poised for it.
The Pelicans make me sad.
Well, before we get to the Pelicans, just because I see it now, what would you say are your all-time favorite player nicknames?
All-time favorite player nicknames?
Yeah.
I think most player nicknames are crap. Half man, half amazing.
It's like...
Yeah,
I think Vince has it for sure. Half man, half amazing is.
Vinsanity. He's got a load of good nicknames.
I mean, King James, not only because it's with LeBron and everything, but that was a king in British history.
I hate that nickname. Whoa. I hate that. I've always hated that nickname.
It's like you're Irish or something.
Well, it's not actually nothing to do with hating the monarchy. I just hated that nickname. I hated that LeBron chose Michael's number. I understand it from a marketing point of view, but it always kind of annoyed me that he didn't, because he was a generational player. He didn't have to he could have just chose his own number and kind of let things, but whatever. Adopting the name King James when you're 16 is a little bit. Whatever, but anyway, I just never liked that nickname.
Alright, so you got half man, half amazing. Insanity. Nothing else?
I don't really like a lot of NBA nicknames. They're not as bad as MMA nicknames.
Yeah.
But, no. But, what do you think? What do you think of the Pallies? That says it all, man. This team makes me sad. The fact that there's two things about this team makes me sad. The fact that Eddie can't stay healthy, and the fact that he's marred with this.
Well, nobody on this team can stay healthy. Like, the Asik trade was a mistake from the second the ink was put to paper. Like,
Asik could have been. He was a really good defender, but it's a different NBA.
Yeah.
If you're an offensive liability of that magnitude, Omer Asik is horrible on offense. You put him back in 2000, and he's a very useful player. But in today's NBA, jeez, look at that. That center rotation is abysmal.
I shouldn't say that he's had his moments.
few and far between.
Robert Sacre Bleu.
I don't know. I hate this team. I would like. There's two things I want from the. I just want to see Anthony Davis play 82 games, and I want to see. Just want them to admit that they rushed this thing because they knew how good he was. They did the Cleveland in the early and the mid. Like that. Like where they just. They were going. Like if the Pelicans literally, if they just took Anthony Davis and said, right, we're going to be bad for a couple of seasons. Let's just be bad. Let's just get him some players. Get him some young players. People, I don't know these teams. I have a problem with the whole narrative that small market teams need help. No, they don't. You got gift wrap. Like whenever these teams get gift wrap generational talents and still can't make it work.
Well, New Orleans is a hell of a city too. Like if I was an NBA player. I mean, it's just a fun, cool place to be.
I've heard that. I don't know. I don't really know. I know it's got like a lot of history with jazz music and stuff, doesn't it?
That's where it's from. That's
Is
why
it? Yeah.
They used to be the New Orleans Jazz back in the good old days.
Let's talk. Okay, let's not be completely negative.
Tyreke Evans, he was really good as a rookie, and then has regressed every single season.
Doesn't really have a position. He's went from point to shooting guard to small forward to hopefully the bench.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to, shoot.
He put up 20, 25 and 5 as a rookie, didn't he?
Yeah, 25 and 5. And
it's not mental the way things can turn.
Well, he's a slasher, and you have to have a 3-point shot if you're going to play the 1, 2, or the 3, and he's played all 3 positions, and he's...
I can't remember ever looking at is like, what is it? Do you have a decent PER? Do you have what?
No, he's back with the Kings. Back when the Kings were the Kings, and the Kings have not been good forever.
Buddy Hield looks like he could be, be a useful player.
He's great at Oklahoma.
But everything else on this team, that's just.
Yeah, Dante Cunningham's had his moments. Langston Galloway was good for a season.
I'd be amazed if this team won more than 30 games.
Depends. Anthony Davis, the generational superstar.
He 110% is. I mean, if he played 82 games, I guarantee they would never win less than 40 games. He's that good. He guarantees you. He's like LeBron. He guarantees you 40 wins, no matter what the crap is that you put around him. The kid just can't stay healthy. And that affects him. He goes out and whatever. You can't put it all on him. I mean,
it's a bad team.
It's a bad team, and he has health issues. So, I hope that they just do the sensible thing, which is you've got him locked up for 4 more years. So you got him locked up for 4 more years. If this situation continues for the next 2 years, there's gonna start being kind of rumblings of trades and unhappiness, and so I'd be amazed if there wasn't,
Yeah.
And he could maybe legitimately turn around and say, look, it can't be a coincidence that everyone that comes here is getting injured. What's going on? What are we doing differently? Do you not think that? Why is it that the players can't seem to stay healthy with this organization? Do we have problems with the training staff or what's happening?
I think honestly, you can just get snake bitten. Like a guy rolls his ankle, that's nobody's fault. Like you get a.
But it could also. I mean, some teams are much better at monitoring things. Again, this is complete speculation, but it can't be such a. Whatever. I suppose you could just have that run of bad luck. I don't know.
New Orleans. Famous for jazz, also famous for voodoo, so maybe they have just pissed off the wrong people, and some witch doctors put a hex on them.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. You got anything else about those teams?
Yeah. Southwest Division. Pretty dry.
It's not much to it. What way you got it checking out?
For me, I got Spurs, and I think the Grizzlies are going to continue doing what they've been doing. Then I'm going to hope that the Rockets are going to do some work. Fourth, I want the Pelicans to do well, and I'll still have to go with the Mavs, even though I don't much care for the Mavericks. I kind of do. Just the Pelicans. I can't pick that team. That team does not look appealing at all.
It really doesn't.
What do you think about the Pelicans' nickname? It's been in 3 years now.
It's kind of grown on me a little bit, but it's still not good.
It's the nickname itself doesn't bother me, but man, their color scheme, the logo, everything about it is. They got to do something. Like New Orleans is way too cool of a city to be saddled with that. Like
if the Hornets and the Bucks could make cool logos.
Well, the Hornets have always had great logos.
They've had some. I don't know. They've had some that I never really was a fan of.
Well, maybe it's because it was those '90s, but in the '90s, that purple and teal and just like you remember. I guess did y'all have those starter jackets back in
I don't even know what a starter jacket is.
Well, the Hornets one was super fly.
I got the division check and I more or less exactly the same as you. I'm gonna assume that if my kind of best case scenario is 50 for the Rockets, worst case scenario is 35. I'm gonna kind of cut the difference and say they'll maybe be in that 42-43 range. I think the Grizzlies have a better chance of being healthy than the Rockets do, so I think they might win kind of something in that 46-47 range. So I'm gonna go Spurs, Grizzlies, Mavs. No, sorry, Spurs, Grizzlies, Rockets, Mavs, Pelicans.
Yeah, Mavs still probably gonna end up
41 or something.
They'll get to something stupid. It'll be like 48, and it's like, how did they do it? Rick Carlisle, all he does is win. Like he's incredible.
It'll be 3 months into the season, and Dirk will be putting up a 50, 40, 90 or something.
That's about how it goes.
Anyway, I've got nothing more to really say on this division.
That is the Southwest Division. This was the 5th edition of Something About Basketball. We've only got one more left in the preseason. Yeah, so.
Yeah, excited. I can't wait for this actual season to start, man.
We got a week.
Tuesday. Starts on Tuesday. Yeah, guys, if you're stuck with us this long into the video, hit subscribe on the video. Hit it.
Or else.
Yeah, if you could hit subscribe and give us a like, it'd be very much appreciated.